Alright, so in the previous lesson we wrapped up doing the refine line work for this third character here, and it's time to go ahead and move on to our fourth shape. Now, we have a little bit more detail to work with on this shape. There's a few more curves and a nicer form really overall than I think this third shape had. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and spin this around and look at this from a different angle here just to get a little different take on it. And you know, in spinning this around, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing possibilities, really good possibilities from both angles. With this one I see a much larger chin shape here, maybe neck, with a smaller forehead and top of the head, whereas with this shape it's almost the exact opposite. We've got a larger top here for the hair or the top of the head, and then it kind of tapers down into a thinner jawline and chin here. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and work on this from this angle here. Again, if you want to work on this from the opposite angle, feel free to do that, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and reduce the opacity on our shape layer, dropping that down around 30% or so. We'll select that rough layer and we'll go ahead and grab our pencil brush here. Let's go ahead and drop that down to about 5 pixels. And let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is go ahead and examine some of the parts of this shape. Let's go ahead and look at this area right here. We've got two bulbous areas right here and right here, one much larger. Now I think this is going to suit us really well for designing sort of the hairstyle of this character. And looking at this, I'm looking here and then here, and it almost seems like this is a bun or something like that on the back side of the head, or maybe we could actually push that to the back side of the head. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and kind of pull in an ellipse shape here for the head. Just kind of giving us a nice ground to work with. Now the face is going to hang kind of down here like so. So I'm going to go ahead and divide that in half, much like we've been doing on the other characters. Just kind of quickly, really loosely drawing a division here. Now I'm looking at this character kind of looking this direction. So obviously, again, we're going to not see as much of this, our left side, his right side of his face. So let's come in and kind of work with this division and place in some guides for the eyes. And maybe the nose, and then the mouth. Alright, so we've got those in place. The next thing I'm going to go ahead and do with this character is go ahead and separate sort of the hair from the face. So we need to go ahead and define a forehead here at some point. So I'm going to kind of come up, play off of this line right here, and I want to make a division right here. And we're going to come up and sort of pull in the forehead. Sort of like that. And let's go ahead and start drawing in hair. I'm going to kind of draw in sort of the crest or the peak in the hair right there. And then we're going to come back a little bit, sort of like so. And if this is a male character, you're going to have a real strong little jut of hair right there, and it might come back some into the sideburn area. So we've got this kind of this nice receding hairline going. So with that done, let's go ahead and just kind of quickly sketch over these lines of our shape. Just sort of like that. And maybe we come in and actually complete this first bulbous shape right here, just kind of loosely. And we've kind of developed a hairstyle. Now, what I'm seeing here as far as a character type is sort of a samurai type character. I think this type of hairstyle might work really well for a samurai. And I'm also looking at the way this shape ends down here in this this sharp jutting area, and I'm seeing almost a beard-like shape. So let's go ahead and work towards that. Let's go ahead and flush out sort of the brows here. I'm going to work my way towards that center line. And let's go ahead and give him a nose. Let's maybe give him another indentation there, and maybe kind of an awkward shaped nose here. Just kind of sketching around where the nostrils would be. We may need to actually come in and refine that again when we get to that refine line work stage, but let's go ahead and give this guy some eyebrows. Now the eyebrows are going to sit right on top of these brow lines we've established, butting right up against them on top of these lines. So we'll come in here and just loosely draw in some eyebrows here. I'm going to bring this eyebrow back to sort of a point right here as it curves around to the side of his head. Now obviously, we think about this, and this line right here on the profile of his right side is going to be mimicked right about here, just creating the other side of his head. So you think about where this line is actually going to be placed. Now obviously this is not a line we're going to see as visible. Now in drawing the character with no light source, this line won't be visible for us. It may help you to place it in there as a placeholder, but this line really won't be visible until we bring in a light source. And obviously, if the light's coming from this direction, this might be visible because the side of his head here would be covered in shadow. But anyways, let's go ahead and just kind of bring down a cheekbone here, kind of carving out that eye socket, just like so. There we go. Let's go ahead and give him an eye. Let's go ahead and draw in an eye here. And roughly draw in another eye over here. Let's go ahead and give him this eyebrow on this opposite side. Now, obviously, if he's kind of looking down and this side's further from us, we're not going to see much of this eye. That's why you see a much smaller eye here than you see here. It's just a form of foreshortening. So we'll go ahead and just quickly pencil in that eyebrow there. And let's come in and sort of follow this cheekbone down and see where that takes us. So maybe come in and give him a little bit of an eye socket there where the skin is up underneath his eye. And bring that cheekbone down, sort of like that. Now we're getting to this point right here where we're going to need to create his beard. Now I'm going to go ahead and give him one of those, a nice full mustache here. And as I'm approaching this invisible line right here, this is where it's actually going to curve from being at an angle here to moving pretty much straight down his chin. Alright, so we're looking pretty good. Just quickly drawing in a really rough beard line here. Now we've got this little bitty mark right here for his mouth. So let's go ahead and play on that a little bit. Let's finish kind of creating the mustache. The mustache is going to hide the upper lip almost entirely, so really all we're going to see here is the lower lip. So I'm going to come in and just draw in a lower lip right here. And we'll go ahead and flush that mustache out on the side closest to us. And go ahead and finish this beard off. Now it's going to have this centerpiece that kind of comes up right along this, straddling this division we drew in when we first started the character. So we're going to come in and kind of draw in these elliptical shapes right here, just like so. And we'll just kind of give him a rough line here for the beard. Now this is going to obviously be fleshed out when we get to the refined line work, but let's go ahead and give him an eye, or excuse me, an ear now. So I'm seeing this curve right here as being a really nice shape to play off of to give him an ear, and it's almost in exactly the right spot in relation to the eyes we drew. So let's come in here and draw an ear shape. Just sort of like that. And we'll give that little shape right there. A few little details for the ear. And obviously we're going to need to draw this other line for his beard. Now, I'm not going to make this a really full beard on the sides. I want to make it almost really thin right here, following his jawline. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that down. And we'll bring it in right up to the mustache, just like so. I'm going to come in here at this point. Let's give him a neck. And let's go ahead and ground this head into something here. We'll go ahead and quickly draw in some rough shoulder shapes. I'm going to go ahead and give him sort of a kimono or a cloak of some kind here. Just like so. And let's go ahead and bring this down again. Alright, so we've got the rough character pretty much drawn here. Now at this point I'm going to come in and flesh out some details. Obviously we haven't drawn in his eyes, being the pupils and the irises here, so let's go ahead and make him staring in a certain direction. Maybe he's looking through the top of his eyes, sort of at us. Now, this other iris is going to be really kind of hard to see, so we're going to draw it right in the corner there. Just right about there, so it appears that he's looking at us. Now, we may actually need to come in and really refine this brow line right here. Darkening that up quite a bit. Really kind of exploring how the brow translates into the nose shape here. Now, if he's got a sort of a scowl on his face, he may have sort of a furrowed brow, and that brow is created by these two muscles behind the eyebrows. Actually, they're pulling inwards towards the center of his nose, right between his eyes right here. These muscles are pulling down, these muscles are all pulling up. This is sort of the center of tension, so that's why you get sort of that crease look right in there. We'll go ahead and just kind of refine that eye out just a little bit more. Maybe define that socket a little bit on the side. We'll go ahead and just kind of give him some hairlines here, giving that hair a little bit more body. Alright, so let's go ahead and give the same body to the bun back here behind. Just giving us something to play off on when we get to the refine line work. Alright, so he's looking pretty good. Now, in zooming out and taking a moment to look at this character, I'm looking here at this eye that we've drawn on the side furthest from us, and it's really kind of hard to see. So in between lessons, I may go ahead and flush that out, redefine that just a little bit, just so we can see that in a little more detail. And when we come back in the next lesson, we'll pick up and we'll begin refining the line work for this character.